Hi guys. So, um, I worked for a friend. Um, it's a friend's mom who I've been friends with them since high school, so mid 90s. And I think that's one of the weird things, how much to charge people when you work for them. I didn't do anything outstanding. I just kind of showed up and was another person. How much how much does that cost to have somebody show up and just help you do something that you could have done on your own, but you just sometimes having somebody there helps. um I'm not a landscaper, I'm not a horticulturist, agriculturist, anything like that, but I can chop blackberries down. um I can pile them onto the spot designated for the burn pile. I live pretty far out in the sticks, and we're able to have burn piles on our properties. Um, we just have to be mindful of what burn days are. Um, so I can do that stuff, but like when the guy reached out to me, he said that he wanted to pay me $20 an hour, and I was surprised by it, just because to me this kind of work is, um, I think maximum I've been paid is $15 an hour to do this kind of stuff. And I grew up being paid like $4 an hour. And then once I got out of high school, it moved up to being $10 an hour. Um, so it feels weird that $20 an hour feels, that's more than I made at any of the jobs that I've worked at. So it feels like my need to push myself, is much higher, which means I can only feasibly work for a couple hours before I've exhausted myself for the $20 an hour. So I was just curious, what do people think? $15 an hour, that's like about 3 hours. I can push myself at $15 an hour for family and friends for about 3 hours. $10 an hour, I could go a solid 8 hours, more or less. Like, like the pay means that you work that much harder, but $20 an hour, I don't feel physically up to it. So I did like 3 hours of cutting blackberries and raking dried grass away from structures. And just when we started the burn pile, we noticed like where the burn pile was spreading through the grass, so I made sure to rake that up so that we ended up with like a nice big non-burn zone around the burn pile. I feel like that was worth the job. Just getting the burn pile set up for the year so that we can move forward with all the rest of it. She's on just about 5 acres. It's a lot of blackberries. It's a lot of she doesn't want a tidy yard, which I get it. But it also means it's that much harder to get blackberries out of the piles of rhododendrons. So I was just kind of curious, what people's thoughts are on how much you would pay per hour, or would you rather pay somebody for an estimate of how much a job would be, and then you work until that job's done for that much money, no matter how many days it takes? Just kind of curious how people feel about that stuff. Anyway, I made some quick noodles, added some eggs into it. It's kimchi flavor. I don't know where I put the package. Oh, my neck is dead. a couple days now, my neck has been really sore, so I'm being really mindful of how I go to sleep and make sure that I stretch it both directions. I'm a stomach sleeper. So stretch it going both directions and make sure that I'm not watching videos at night where like my neck is in a weird position. But I think it's just springtime. The weather's changing, the pollen's out. Our respiratory system is this long. So allergies be what allergies be. Inflammation is inflammation. Yeah, so I just made some noodles soup, some eggs in it for a little bit of protein. Ooh, steamy glasses. It's supposed to be kimchi flavor. I can taste it. A little bit of cabbaginess, a bit of heat, and a bit of that pickle. But I've got some more kimchi that I can add to it. Oh, that's some funky stuff. I've had it for a while. Funky, funky, funky. Yeah. Phew. Yeah, this is, I believe they call it, sliced kimchi in mild. So it's not very, I think mild they call that is how long it's been fermented. I don't think it's mild ferment anymore. It's pretty strong. And then another thing that I like to add to instant noodles are tins of fish. I don't think I need that today. I'll save that for another day. So yeah, so I worked for about 3 hours. I was actually there for closer to 5. I just fiddled around. I was like, dude, I'm off the clock now. My brain and my body can't do anymore. I would feel bad charging you for just farting around. And she goes, okay. I said, but do you mind if I just stay here and hang out around the fire? So she and I just kind of took it slow and kept raking stuff. And I feel like that compensated for the fact that I had already started slowing down about an hour before that. Just not really working for free, but just really taking time to have conversation. That was kind of nice. I haven't talked to her in a couple years. I haven't worked for her for a couple of years as well. And it's a kind family. They're not the type of people who take advantage of people, and likewise, I am not the type of person who takes advantage of people either. I don't sell myself more than I am. I probably do sell myself short a lot. But that is what it is. But yeah, like, just kind of curious what would your expectations be if somebody was working for $20 an hour? Would you expect like an extreme hustle? If they're not sweating, then they're not working hard enough? Do you like, if we didn't really set goals of like what to get done that day, to me, then I would have been able to push myself a little bit harder, but she's not the type of person who sets goals. So I also have to deal with that, like how to work for somebody whose brain works different than mine does. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm talking to her son. She paid me money, and her son said that he would compensate until it made the $20 an hour. And I texted him and I said, dude, for 3 hours of work, I got $50. I feel okay with that. And he said, well, I still owe you like another $20, $30 for drive time and all this other stuff. And I was like, 50, 60, $70 for 3 hours of work. That seems like so much money. And then he's talking about 30, and that's $80 for 3 hours of work. That's so much money. Like I'm not employed. I don't want to turn down money, but I also I don't want to take advantage of somebody, and I don't want to push myself to the point where I can't take care of myself for a couple of days. Like, I don't want to push through 2 days of work and then have 3 days of recovery afterwards, you know? I don't know. Does that make sense? It is what it is. Anyway, just checking in, saying hi. I'm here. I took my Ritalin today. I also took my anti-anxiety meds, but I think mostly I just some time outside pushing myself, like my brain, to stay on task because I was being paid by somebody, and I feel pretty drained from that. Like, I just feel pretty drained. But I mean, it was a good visit. She's a hippie, but she's seems to be turning. She's got some interesting views. They're not particularly liberal either, which is, I guess that's kind of what happens as people get older. They tend to get more conservative. And she's always been a pretty independent thinker anyway, so it's just kind of interesting to see how that's happening with her. So her son and I are talking about like the kind of stuff that she's into. He and I talked about what kind of stuff my dad is getting into, how YouTube's affecting his worldview, stuff like that. So that's kind of fun. Have you guys seen the cat yet? There's a cat in the background. There's also flowers over here. Anyway, I'll let you guys go. Yeah, I don't feel bad. I just feel tired, drained. I don't feel unhappy. I don't feel depressed. I feel like I'm mellow, like chill, I guess. But I also just feel tired. So I'm gonna eat some soup, have some caffeinated tea, drink some this is kombucha and ginger bug. So it's just tastes a bit like watered down kombucha and a bit more ginger into it. So I'm gonna sit here, have a meal, and I gotta go out to the garden and double check that all my tools are put away because we're supposed to get rain tonight and all day tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. And then for more days. Good fun times. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.